All right, so the first step to getting started with email marketing is of course going to be to have some kind of email marketing software and have an account with that software. So for the examples throughout this course, I'm going to be using MailChimp. However, as I believe I mentioned in the preview of this course, if you are using a different software, that's not going to be a problem because for the most part, it's going to be a very similar process to do all of the things that we're going to talk about in this course with any of the commonly used email marketing softwares. Okay, so with that being said, the first thing that you're going to want to do is create an account here with MailChimp or with whatever software you're using. Once you've made a username and you've put in your email and your password, it's going to bring you to a page like this where you can get started with one of the plans that they have. We're going to start off with the free plan, and the free plan is actually going to allow you to have a list of up to 2,000 people and send up to 10,000 emails every single month for entirely free. If you have a larger list or you're sending more emails, at that point you may have to upgrade to one of their paid plans. But until then, you can get started with email marketing for 100% free, which is a really nice feature of a lot of these email marketing softwares. So we're going to go ahead and select free. And from there, you're going to be asked to put in some information like your name, your business name. You can put in your website URL if you have one, as well as your phone number if you choose to do so. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the business name here. And go ahead and click on continue. After that, it's going to ask you for your address. Now, this is very important because with email marketing, you have to have some kind of address at the bottom of your email to make sure that it's complying with the anti-spam laws that go along with email marketing. So if you notice, anytime you look at one of these email marketing campaigns that you get from a company like Amazon, like Apple, or whatever it may be, if you do scroll down to the bottom, there's going to be some kind of address line that is tacked onto the bottom of that email. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put in my address here. Feel free to use your personal address if you choose to do so, a company that you're working with. If you have a PO box or you want to set up a PO box, you can do that pretty cheaply. There are many different ways that you can go about this, but unfortunately, you do have to have some kind of address attached to the emails that you send. Okay, but anyway, after that, you're going to go ahead and click on continue yet again. And at this point, it's going to ask you if you have any contacts already that you want to go ahead and add or upload onto your list here in MailChimp. So since we're starting fresh here, I'm just going to go ahead and select no. And then we're going to go ahead and click on continue. They're going to ask you if you're selling products, services, both, or neither. And we'll just go ahead and say that we're selling both for this example. And we're going to be selling these on our own website or e-commerce store. And after that, you can go ahead and finish the setup process by clicking on continue. And it's going to go ahead then and bring you to the dashboard here for MailChimp. And here on the dashboard, this is where you're going to be able to see many different things, such as the campaigns that you've sent or that you're planning on sending. You can go to your audience and see all the different contacts that you have within your audience. You can add other contacts. You can remove past contacts. You can kind of categorize your contacts by different tags or segments. And we're going to talk about all of these different things here throughout this course. Now that we do have step one done, which is just going to be to create your account with some kind of email marketing software. Okay, so now that we have our account set up with MailChimp, the next step is going to be to set up a way for people to actually sign up onto our email list and start getting our emails. And what we want to do then is go over to the audience tab on MailChimp, and we're going to go ahead and select sign up forms. Now, before we create our sign up form that the people are going to actually use to sign up, what we want to do is actually kind of design what our default form is going to look like. So we're going to go to the form builder and click on select. And this is going to give us a ton of different options of customization. It's going to allow us to change the font size. It's going to allow us to change the color. And first and foremost, what it's going to let us do is actually ask for specific criteria for somebody to sign up onto our list. So for example, if you want to require somebody to put in their email address, their first name, their last name, their phone number, you can require all of that in order for somebody to sign up to your list. Or if you want to keep it more simple, which is what I personally tend to do with my email list, you can just select to have the email and the first name required, for example. And that's actually what I'm going to do for this example. So I'm going to click on email address. And by default, of course, this is going to be a required field in order to sign up to your email list. Then I'm also going to require that the first name is put in when signing up. However, I'm not really interested in getting the last name. I'm not interested in getting the address, the phone number, the birthday, and so on and so forth, because at the end of the day, if you think about it, the more information you're requiring people to put in order to sign up to your list, the less likely they're going to do that and the less your list is going to grow. On the other side of the spectrum, if you're looking for more information, then of course there are benefits to requiring this information from people when they are signing up. And then you can use that information for other things like paid advertising. So there are benefits for requiring other information as well. But again, for this example, I'm just going to keep it simple. So I want to make sure that the last name is not a required field, and we also want to hide it from our list. And by default, the address is hidden and is not required. Same with phone number. And then down here with birthday as well, I'm going to go ahead and hide that. So after doing that, we're going to save the field. And we can go up here now and actually start designing what we want this sign-up form to look like when we embed it on our website or embed it on our blog. Now, when it comes to the design and the customization, this is of course going to be entirely preference. You want to make sure that this is going to fit in with whatever the design or the style is of the website or the blog that you're posting this sign-up form on. So you can see there are a ton of different options here with what you can change as far as the color goes. If we click on the body, there's a background color we can change. We can change the button color, which is actually something that I definitely recommend doing. For example, if the theme of your website is all red, it's a good idea to make that button red as well. So that way it fits into your website a little bit more naturally, and it's going to really look like it's part of your website as opposed to a MailChimp form that was simply embedded onto your website. Okay, but anyway, after you have it set up and designed the way that you'd like it to look on your website, next what we're going to do is go back to the sign-up forms, and we're going to go ahead and actually start creating our embedded form that we're going to copy and paste onto our website. So very quickly, aside from these embedded forms that I was telling you about, there's also other options, for example, like a subscriber pop-up, which you can embed on your website as well. And that's one of those things that when you go on a website, it pops up on the front page and asks you to put in your email and your first name or whatever it may be to sign up to their email list. And those definitely have their benefits as well, and they can be really great for capturing emails in certain situations. But in my personal opinion, they can be a little bit annoying when they pop up. So I tend to kind of stay away from those and just stick with the embedded forms. So we're going to go ahead and select embedded form. And you can see with these embedded forms, there's a couple of different options as well. We have the classic, which you can see previewed right here. We have condensed, we have horizontal, unstyled, and advanced. And I'm going to go ahead and stick with the classic for this example. Now, depending on which fields you put in that you'd like people to put in order to subscribe to your list, for example, if you have email address, first name, last name, birthday, and so on and so forth, you can go ahead and select to show only the required fields, or you can have show all fields selected. So that way, if somebody wants to put in like their birthday, for example, it's not necessarily required, but it's going to give you more information. So you can have it there as an option. And in order to do that, you would have show all fields selected. Otherwise, if you only want to show the required fields, you would just go ahead and select that. Now, the nice thing about these email marketing businesses is it's very easy to copy and paste this code then onto your website to actually show this exact embedded form on your website to start capturing those emails. So what you have to do is just copy this section down here, go over to your website, go over to your blog, wherever you decide to share this. And once you're there, all you have to do then is go ahead and paste that code into a text box or into an HTML editor. Go up to the corner, click on save, and if we preview this page, we can now see that we have our email sign up form on this page. Now, if you notice, it is pretty wide and it goes across the entire page, which in my opinion looks a little bit weird. So if we go back to the HTML code, what I'm going to do is go up to the top of this code, and in this top section here, what you may want to do next to the actual style of the font is simply add in what I'm going to add in here, which is width. And I'm going to put 30%, which is about 30% then of the page that's going to take up, as opposed to spanning across the entire 100% of the page. And then after that, we're going to put the margin on auto. And that should kind of take care of this problem. So if we save this and go over to the preview, you can see now that it's spanning across 30% of the page and it's centered in the middle. as opposed to being across the entire page, which in my opinion looks a little bit better. And if you wanted to make this even smaller, you could change that 30% to 15, 20%. Or you can go the other way and make it a little bit bigger by changing that to maybe 50%. So there's really an unlimited amount of customizations that you can do with your sign up form, both on the MailChimp website or if you know some basic HTML and CSS. Okay, so with that being said, now just to make sure that our email sign up form is actually working, let's go ahead and test this by putting in my email and my first name and click on subscribe. As you can see, once you hit subscribe, it's going to take you over to a thank you page. But in this case, there's an error because by default, once you sign up for your MailChimp account, it's going to add you to your own list. So my email is already on that list. But this would just be a thank you page. And just like that, we have a way for people to actually start signing up to our list and start getting our email marketing campaigns. All right, so now that we have a way for people to start signing up to our email marketing list, I wanted to just briefly go over a few of the options when it comes to creating campaigns and sending these email campaigns to the people that are on our list. So we're on the MailChimp campaign page here, and I'm going to go up to create campaign. Now if we go up to email, you can see that there are a few different options. We first have a regular email. We have a plain text email, which is essentially a regular email with just less customization options. It's not going to have things like pictures, videos. You're not going to be able to add buttons for people to click on. It's just a very basic plain text email, which I personally tend to stay away from because I like to have a little bit more customization and branding when I send my emails. And then last, we have a template down here, which is going to allow you to kind of save the emails that you've sent in the past. So that way you can use the same design and the same customizations in your future emails without having to do the styling on every single email that you send. Okay, so we're going to start off first with a regular email, and I'm just going to give this a name of test and click on begin. Now this page is where you're going to add things like the subscribers that you're sending this to. It's where you're going to add the subject line, and this is of course where you're going to start designing the email itself. So by default, it's going to be sent to everybody that's on your email list. However, what you can do is click on Edit Recipients, and in the future, once you have different segments or different tags in your list, which I'm going to show you how to do in the future of this course, you can go ahead and select to send to just a specific group or a specific tag of the people that are in your list as opposed to the entire list. Now additionally, by clicking on Edit Recipients, you can also personalize the To field, which is something that I recommend doing because if you click on this, what you can do then is go ahead and select first name, because if you remember in the previous section when we created our sign up form, the two things that I required to sign up to my list were the email address and the first name. So now we have the first name of people, and our email marketing software here is going to automatically then put their first name into the email when it's being sent out. And what that's going to do is make it a little bit more personal, and it's also going to help prevent our emails from being sent to their spam or their junk folders. So I do recommend doing that, and if you want to, there's quite a few different options depending on the things that you require when somebody is signing up for your list. You can do just the first name, you can do the last name, you can say their first and last name, or you can make a custom option. But I'm just going to go ahead and put first name, click on save, and the next thing is they want to know who this email is actually coming from. So if we click on add from, here you can put in your personal name, you can put in your business name that you'd like your email to be sent from, and you can also adjust the email address that you're sending from. Now if you have a website and you have a business email, I do highly recommend putting that in. Even though it's not 100% necessary, it is going to kind of help your email come across as a little bit more professional, and at the end of the day is going to help your email marketing perform a little bit better. Okay, but after you have that put in, you're going to click on save again. And from there, you would just add your subject line. So we'll go ahead and put email marketing 101. And then you can also put the little preview text that you see just below the subject when you get an email. So if I was sending out an email about email marketing, I want to put something that's going to be interesting to the people on my list, something that's going to want to make them click on this email, open it up, read the content that's in it, and hopefully click on any of the links or the buttons that we have within our email that are going to potentially turn them from an audience member to a conversion or a sale. So maybe I would put something like, use this tip when email marketing to get better results. After that, we would just click on save, and from there we can go over to start designing the email itself. Now, the first time that you start designing your emails, you're going to kind of have to go through the process itself. So we're going to start off just with a basic design here. But after you do this the first time, like I said, you can go ahead and save that as a template. So that way in the future, when you make another email to send to your list, you're not going to have to go through this entire process of designing and setting up the email. You can just go ahead and click on that template, open it up, and adjust the content that's within the email itself. So as you can probably see, they make it very simple to actually design and set up these emails. They have a bunch of different boxes over here that you can go ahead and just click and drag into the email. So if you wanted to add more text, you can do that. You would just edit the text over here. Testing 1, 2, 3. Save it. You can add in an image. You can add in different dividers. You can add in videos. There's a ton of different options. You can add in buttons even to have people click through to your website or your blog or whatever you're trying to market within your email list. And once you kind of have it set up the way that you think you want it when you start to send your emails, you can go up here to the preview page and enter the preview mode to see exactly what this email is going to look like when someone opens it up on their desktop. You can click on the mobile tab up here to see exactly what this will look like when somebody opens it up on their mobile phone. And in order to then go ahead and save this design as a default or as a template, what you would do is go over to template, click on save this design as a template, and go ahead and give it a name. So we'll just go ahead and call this default email and click on save. So now, as you can see, this is going to be saved under our save templates. So anytime you create a new campaign now, you can go to the save templates and open up this exact design. So all you have to do then is add different text and add different content into the email itself, rather than designing the whole thing, changing the colors, adding the logo, and whatever it may be that you're including within your emails. Okay, so I'm going to click return to campaign, and if we go to continue then, as you can see, we are getting an error just because we didn't do any editing to the default. We still have the it's time to design your email. So if there's any issues at all with the email, it's not going to let you send it. So you would just have to go back and edit that. But here on this page is where you would just click send, and it would send to all of the recipients of your list. You can also, before doing that, click on send a test email down here. And by doing this, you can put in your email or whatever emails you'd like it to be sent to, just to make sure that it's designed and set up the way that you like it to be, to make sure that all the links and all the buttons within the email actually work properly and are being sent to all of the proper locations. And I do recommend you do send a test email before you send out your campaigns, just to make sure that there are no issues before you blast out this campaign to everybody in your list. All right, now with any email marketing campaign or email marketing automation, you want to do your best to put the right email in front of the right person at the right time. Now, if you do have a very small list or you're just starting off with email marketing, this step is not going to be 100% necessary for you yet. However, once your list starts to grow, you're going to want to categorize the people in that list a little bit more, so that way you can start to send specific emails to specific groups of people, which is going to significantly help your email performance. And one way to do that is by using things that are known as groups, segments, and tags. Now, these three things are going to be a little bit different, but at the end of the day, what they do is categorize or split up the people in your list, again, to make your email marketing campaigns a bit more effective. So let's go ahead and start off with what groups are. If we go up to View Contacts in the Audience tab, we can go to Manage Contacts and then go down to Groups. Now, I should preface this by saying groups specifically cannot be used with embedded forms, which are what we talked about in the previous section. So if you're using an embedded form to put on your website, you're not going to be able to use groups, so you'll have to use things like segments or tags. But if you're using the pop-up sign-up form, for example, when you do that, you can use a group, And these groups are going to kind of allow the people in your audience to put them into one category or another. So the way that they work are, if we go to create a group, what we can do is we can ask a question when someone is signing up to our email list. So for example, one of the businesses that I run online is about the stock market. I teach people how to day trade, how to swing trade, and how to long-term invest. So all of these three types of investing are on one website itself. And when I have somebody sign up for my email list, what I might want to do is ask, what interests you the most? Are they most interested in day trading? Are they most interested in swing trading? Or are they most interested in long-term investing? Okay, so now when somebody uses this to sign up to my email list, I'm going to know exactly which type of trading or which type of investing this person is specifically interested, and then I can use that information to target them a little bit more specifically when I'm sending out an email campaign. So after that, I would just go ahead and click on Save. And if you want to, if you already have a list of people that you want to import into these groups, you can do that, or you can just go ahead and click Done for now. And now I have this group that's going to tell me a little bit more about the people signing up to my audience. So I can click on View Groups, and when I have people signed up for any of these specific groups, I would be able to click on the contacts and see exactly who's in these specific groups. I can also go over here and click on Send. So if I wanted to send an email specifically to the people that selected day trading, I could do just that. And hopefully you can see how beneficial that may be when it comes to targeting the people in your audience. Now, groups are going to be a little bit different from another way of categorizing your audience, which are going to be the tags. So again, if we go up to Manage Contacts and we go down this time to Tags, like we just saw, a group is a way for the people in your audience to kind of categorize themselves, but tags, on the other hand, are going to be a way for you to categorize the people that are already in your audience. So for example, what we can do is create a tag, and we'll just call this tag Welcome. And once we start talking about email automations in the future of this course, you're going to see exactly how this is going to be beneficial. But if you have a welcome tag, you can have it automatically be placed next to a person in your audience that has just been welcomed or has just joined your email list. This way you would know that they are a fresh subscriber and they've already received your welcome email to thank them for signing up for your email list. Now, another way to go about using tags is, for example, if you have an online store and you're selling a bunch of products, you can create a tag that's called Existing Customer. And you would add this tag to the audience members that have already purchased something from your online store, because at the end of the day, it's easier to resell to somebody that has already purchased from your website than it is to create an entirely new customer. So by knowing who is already an existing customer, you can use that information to be a little bit more aggressive with your sales pitches to then try to get this existing customer to purchase something else from your online store. And really, there are endless different things that you can use as tags. You can even add tags for, gender, for location. If you're using multiple different sign-up forms on multiple different websites or blogs, you can use tags to specify where exactly this person signed up from. And all of these uses are going to be really beneficial for, again, being more specific with the content that you're putting in front of certain people. Okay, so now that you know a little bit about groups and a little bit about tags, the last thing that I want to talk about in this section is going to be segments. So again, if we go to Manage Contacts, this time down to Segments, a segment is going to be a little bit different. This is essentially going to be a way for us to filter the people in our audience by specific criteria. So for example, if we wanted to create a segment here, and obviously for this example here, we're just using this list that I've set up that has only 2 contacts in it, both of which are myself. So if I wanted to look for all of the people that are in my audience that have the first name Travis, for example, which of course is my first name, just so we can actually see this work, all you have to do is put that criteria in and then click on Preview Segment. And it's going to tell you all of the people within your list that have the first name Travis. And even though that's a very basic example, if we go to Edit Segment here, you can see there's a ton of different things you can use to filter your audience. We have a bunch of subscriber data up here, like automation activity, contact rating, date added, the sign up source. We can even use groups that we previously created. We can use their address, their birthday, email address, first name, last name, and so on and so forth. Now, on top of that, we can also select to have any of the following conditions met or all of the following conditions met. So if we have multiple things here, multiple different pieces of criteria, let's just say the first name and the birthday. Again, we can select to have any of those or all of those met. So if we have any of those pieces of criteria met, we would only need one or the other for them to actually be part of this segment. If we select all, then only people that have the selected first name and the selected birthday are going to be a part of this segment. So again, this is really just a way for us to find specific people within our list to be a little bit more targeted with the emails that we send. All right, so now in this section, I want to start talking about email automations, which are a huge part of email marketing. So just about any time you sign up to someone's email list, you're going to be a part of an email automation that is automatically going to be sent to you as soon as you sign up for that list. And that email automation may be just a welcome email. It may tell you what to expect from being signed up to their email list. It might just be a quick thank you for signing up to the list. Or maybe they offered you something in exchange for signing up to their list, and that's going to be sent to you as part of their automation. Now, on top of that, along with that initial email that you get for signing up, email automations continue to send over the next couple of days usually, or even sometimes over the next couple of weeks. So you can set these automations to send maybe one day after someone signs up, and then another one being sent 2 days after they sign up, and then another one being sent 3 days after they sign up. So that way it's going to kind of automatically send someone down a sales funnel as soon as they sign up for your email list. Okay, so in this section, we're going to start talking about these automations. And again, I'm using the MailChimp platform here, but it should be a pretty similar process if you're using something else. Now, I do want to preface this by saying with just about any email marketing service, you are going to have to pay or use one of their upgraded plans in order to use a lot of their automation features. But don't worry, I'm going to show you kind of a workaround in this example. So that way, if you are brand new and you're just starting, you don't yet have to upgrade to a paid plan, and you can still do some automations by using their free plan. Okay, so first and foremost, if we go over to the automations tab on the left side of the screen, and once you're on this page, you can scroll down and you can see a bunch of different options that they have pre-built for you to start doing some email automation. So they have one to welcome new contacts, for example. They have one designed to send multiple offers to abandoned cart customers. They have one specifically designed to recover lost customers, one to promote cross-sell opportunities, and so on and so forth. And all of these are very useful automations that are, again, specifically designed to do different things, which can be a really great way to make the most of your email automations. Now, unfortunately, as I mentioned, email automation with just about any software is going to be a part of one of their paid plans. And to use any of these pre-built automations, you do have to be signed up to a paid plan. However, I want to do my best to keep this 100% free because I understand that most of the people watching this course are going to be brand new to email marketing. And while your list is still small and growing, you want to, of course, keep your cost as low as possible. So what we're going to do in this case is go up here to this right-hand corner and click on Create a Classic Automation. Now, these classic automations are something that MailChimp used to allow for 100% free before they updated their software. And now I believe to use any of the multiple email automations, you do need to be signed up to a paid plan. But with this classic automation builder, you can see we have a few options here to send an email, for example, when a subscriber is tagged. You can also send one to welcome new subscribers. You could send one even to say happy birthday. You could send one to share blog updates. But we're going to stick with the basic here, and we're going to automatically send an email when someone signs up to our list to welcome them and thank them for signing up. So if we click on Begin, it's going to take us to the email builder. And a really nice feature about this is that you can choose when you want this email to be sent. Now, by default, it's going to be sent immediately after someone signs up to your list, but you can also adjust that to send 1 hour later, 6 hours later, or even 1 day later. I recommend keeping this one on immediately because if you are welcoming or thanking someone for signing up to your list, most of the time they're going to want to get that confirmation email as soon as they sign up. You can also select to have this sent to people that are imported into your audience. So if you're manually adding people into your list and you still want them to be a part of this automation, then you want to make sure that you have that checked. Afterwards, you would simply go ahead then and edit your subject line in your preview text and edit the design of your email. And once you go up here and hit start sending, now every time someone uses your sign up form that you have embedded on your website or your blog, they're going to be automatically put into this email automation and immediately sent this first email welcoming them to the list. Now, to take this a step further, still keeping it 100% free, what we can also do then is go back, create a new email, go to the classic automation builder once again, and this time what we're going to do is instead of having it sent immediately after someone is added to the list, you could change this to 1 day later. So now if you hit save and you come up with an entirely new email with new content and new marketing methods, this one is going to send 1 day later. So you have one being sent immediately when someone signs up, and then there's going to be a follow-up that happens 1 day later, and it's going to again be 100% automated while still of course being 100% free. And unfortunately, that's really as far as you can go with free automation. If you did want to use any of those automation templates that we previously talked about, then of course it is definitely worth it to sign up for one of their paid plans. But this is kind of a really great way to work around and be able to do some automation while still being on the free plan. Okay, so after the previous section, you should have an email automation set up, or you at least know how to do so in order to start welcoming subscribers to your email list once they sign up. So in this section, I wanted to give you some tips to actually start growing that list, so that way you can put those email automations to use and you can really begin your email marketing process. And the first way of growing your list and growing your audience is to give something away. So this is going to depend on whatever brand or whatever business it is that you're promoting, but some common examples of what to give away or what you may say in order to get people to sign up to your email list would be, for example, subscribe to our email list and save 10%. You could say join our email newsletter for exclusive giveaways. Maybe if you're a YouTuber or some kind of influencer trying to grow their YouTube account, you could say subscribe to my list to get early access to new videos. Whatever it may be, giving something away in exchange for their email is really going to be the best way to actually capture that email, because people are not really going to be inclined to sign up to your email list if there's not going to be some kind of benefit to them and if they're not getting anything in exchange for giving away their email. Okay, so with that being said, another nice thing that you can do is you can add whatever it is that you're giving away into your automated welcome email. So for example, let's just say that you are promoting some kind of clothing business. You could use this first example up here and say subscribe to our email list and save 10%. And then you can have a 10% coupon code that you put into your welcome email. So that way, as soon as someone signs up to your email list, they're automatically going to receive that welcome email, and they're immediately going to get that 10% coupon that you promised in exchange for them signing up to your list. Okay, another really great way to get people to sign up to your list and to grow your audience is to have some kind of contest. Everyone likes contests and everyone likes giveaways. So you could say something along the lines of sign up to our email list for a chance to win whatever it may be. Again, going back to a clothing brand business, you could say sign up to our email list for a chance to win a free t-shirt, a free hoodie, a free jacket, whatever it may be. And then every once in a while, you can do a giveaway and actually give away a piece of clothing to someone that's in your email list. And what you want to do also is make sure that everyone else knows that there is a winner. So maybe send out an email congratulating the winner, but also sending that to everyone else in the list. And you also may want to share that on social media, for example, just so everyone knows that your contest is actually legitimate and there's actually real winners of this giveaway. Okay, but this is kind of the same idea as the previous, giving something away. Like I said, everyone wants something in exchange for their email. So by having a contest and having a chance to win something, that's a good way to actually get people interested in signing up for your list and starting to grow your audience. Now, the third way is going to be to add a sign-up form onto your Facebook page. It's no secret that Facebook is huge when it comes to social media marketing. You can do Facebook advertising, you can do Facebook groups, and you can of course have a Facebook page for your business or for whatever it is that you're marketing. So a really great way to drive people from your Facebook page directly into your email list is to actually put that sign up form directly on your Facebook page. And in order to do that, I put these steps below, but we're going to go ahead and go through these right now. So first, what we want to do is go over to MailChimp and we're going to go to integrations. So integrations can be found over here on the left side of the screen, just above the search tab. If we click on integrations, what you're going to see is that there are quite a few different things that you can actually integrate with MailChimp. We have first and foremost Facebook, there's Google, Google Calendar, we can do Twitter. If you want to do surveys with the people in your email list, you can use SurveyMonkey. There's a bunch of different e-commerce options, different website builders, and so on and so forth. But what we want to do here first is connect to Facebook. So we're going to click on Facebook, and we want to connect our account. Okay, so if you're not already signed into your Facebook account, it's going to ask you to do so. And afterwards, it's going to connect you to your Facebook account here in MailChimp. And what you want to do then is select the Facebook page that you'd like to integrate this MailChimp sign-up form with. It's then going to ask you for an audience to use, and you just have to select your audience here in MailChimp. And then it's going to ask you if you want to use a sign-up form tab. I'm going to select yes because this is going to give a sign-up form tab on our Facebook page, so that way people can directly sign up through Facebook and start joining our email list. You can then go ahead and change the theme. So if you want to use the theme that you created a few sections ago when we talked about setting up your sign-up forms and doing different customizations. So if you change the color and you change the name of your sign-up form, for example, make sure that you have this selected so that also shows up on Facebook. Or you can also go with the Facebook-esque sign-up form, which is really just all of the default options with very little customization that is done to it. So I'm going to select the audience theme that we created previously, and then we can go ahead and change the name of this. By default, it's going to be email sign-up. So what you might want to do is, if you are offering a 10% discount, for example, you may want to change this to save 10% or something along those lines, and then go ahead and click on save. So now instead of just saying email sign up, people are going to be on your Facebook page. They're going to see a tab that says save 10%, and they're going to be more likely to click on that tab and actually put in their email as opposed to just seeing an email newsletter or an email sign up page that really offers nothing in exchange for their email. Okay, so anyway, after you do all of that, you can go over to your Facebook page to check it out. Up here we can see we have a save 10% option. And if we click on that, it's going to show us our sign up form. So now we can start capturing emails directly from our Facebook page and immediately putting those people into our email automations and into our sales funnel. Now also very quickly, I want to mention that by default, this tab here for your email sign up is going to be under the More tab, and it's going to be way at the bottom, so it's going to be much less visible. So if you want to change that, you can just go to Settings, and then click on Templates and Tags. And here you can just click and drag your email sign up page all the way up to the top. So that way it's just going to be more visible, and it is just going to be more likely to capture more emails. Okay, so anyway, those 3 ways of growing your list are 3 great ways to start building an audience and driving traffic from different areas like Facebook, for example, into your email list and start doing some email marketing. I do recommend that if you are using other social medias, you can also try out these other integration features. Facebook is just one of the many integrations, but each one is going to in some way help you grow your audience and grow your email list.